Hey guys, hopefully everyone is doing well. Today's target is question number 10.25, cost accounting, and chapter is related to factory overhead variance. We have already solved 3 to 4 questions and you are well familiar with the format, and surprisingly for 10.25 we are following the same format which was used for the first question. So we are related with factory overhead variance. The first element which would be calculated is variances. First variance is total variance. It is also called overall variance, for which we need to have actual FH, and you will subtract applied FH from it, with the effect of which you will calculate your variance by taking the difference of actual and applied. You will calculate variance over here, and then you will conclude how, focusing upon applied FH. So if applied FH is less than actual FH, let's say applied is less, it means it is under applied. And second conclusion which you will make is, if applied FH is more than your actual FH, how would you name it? Applied is more, then you will call it over applied FH. The next variance which you will calculate would be your budget variance. And how would you calculate your budget variance? Again, it's a relationship between two types of FH. First, you will see your budget FH, and then you will subtract your actual FH. Here you will calculate your variance by taking the difference between budget and actual FH. So next step would be the conclusion, focusing upon actual. So if actual FH is more than your budget FH, whenever you will be spending more in actual, it would go unfavorable for you. Contrary to this, if actual FH is less than your budget, that means actually you are spending less. So it would be a good news for you and would be concluded as favorable. Alright, and next is your third variance which you will calculate is volume, or it is also called capacity, and it is also called idle variance. So its third variance, and budget variance has also an alternative name. You may use spending variance, or you may use expenditure variance. So these are alternative names. For volume variance, you need to have budget FH, and you will subtract applied FH from it. Here you will calculate your variance by taking the difference between budget and applied. Then you will conclude by focusing upon budget. If your budget FH is more than your applied FH, you will conclude budget is more. That means you have to arrange more. So it would go your unfavorable for you. And secondly, if budget FH is less than applied, it would go favorable for you. So here you will make the variances. So what I wanted to say, that the same format you was using for solution of first question, and now 10.25, same solution we have used, same format we have used, same formulas we are using for 25 as well. So here we were having the second section. You need to calculate here three major FOHs which will be used to calculate the variance. Again, we will be doing the same thing. First would be the actual FH, and thankfully it would be given in the question. Secondly, you will calculate applied FH. It has a single line formula. Actual hours would be given in the question and you will multiply it with applied FH rate. Then you will calculate your third budget FH. It has two line formula. First, you will see actual hours, units, and you will multiply it with variable FH rate. You will add fixed FH and sum of these two lines would be your budget FH. For next, we were calculating the rates, but here you can see the shape of question. This will tell you it's little blurry, but I will help you to let you understand. This line is very important. We were supposed to calculate rate in lower section, but rates are already given over here. So you were supposed to calculate rates at this side. Normally you calculate total FH rate and then you will calculate fixed FH rate and variable FH rate. But what is happening over here? Factory overhead rate at part A is already given, that is 14. It means you do not need to calculate it. Fourth part was to calculate FH applied rate. Now please try to understand. 14 is already given. How do you calculate fixed FH rate? It's a sum of two different types of rates, fixed FH rate and you were supposed to add variable FH rate. But 14, which is given in the question, you can see over here, the 14 is what? Factory overhead applied rate. It is already been given. So you won't put anything under fixed FH rate, you won't put anything under variable FH rate. Sum is already given, that is 14. Now let's see what is next. At B point it has been said 3/4 of above calculated rate is variable cost oriented. That means this rate has fixed and variable, and it has been suggested that 3/4 is variable. So now it has become more easy for us because at 4A you were supposed to calculate your fixed FH rate. For that you will need to have fixed FH, which was supposed to be divided by estimated hours. So this was the way to calculate your fixed FH rate. But now something else is happening over here. He is guiding us that 3/4 above rate is variable. If 3/4 is variable, then how much would be fixed? Because there are only two types of rate, fixed FH and variable FH. So if you will see, you can calculate directly your rates over here. Variable FH rate is 3/4. So what you can do, you can calculate 3/4 of this rate, that means 14, and it would be multiplied by 3 and divided by 4, with which what will happen? You can calculate your variable FH rate. Now let me know if out of total rate 3/4 is variable, then how much would be fixed FH rate? It is easy to understand. If 3 out of 4 are variable, then 1 out of 4 would be fixed FH. So how would you do that? You can calculate your fixed rate as well by taking 14 was the total rate, and then you need to multiply it with 1/4, and then you will add it, automatically 14 will arrive. So please try to understand. 3/4 was suggested by question, it's variable. So total rate was 14, we have taken 3/4 which had become variable. Out of total, if 3/4, that means 3 parts are fixed for variable, then how many remaining parts out of 4? 1. So 1/4 would be considered as fixed FH rate. In this way both rates can be calculated. So we can calculate over here. First we will see 14 into 1/4. Here you can calculate 14 into 1 by 4. So you have your 3 over 5 as fixed FH rate, which you have calculated over here. So you can directly write 3.5 as your fixed FH rate. How did you calculate? We can mention over here. So what you have done, only fixed FH rate was 14 into 1 over 4. We haven't used this formula directly. Following the instruction given in the question, we had calculated fixed FH rate, and now the fourth B part was fixed for the variable FH rate. Usually it was calculated how? By dividing your variable FH on estimated hours. So here formula won't be used because instruction in this question is little different. He had said 3 by 4 would be used as variable. So we have already calculated it. How? 14 would be multiplied by 3 and divided by 4. This way you can calculate your variable FH as well. Let's put on calculator. 14 multiplied by 3 divided by 4. So you have got your amount 10.5. You can write 10.5 over here. So both rates are calculated, but here we haven't used any formula. What I was saying, you were supposed to calculate your variable FH rate by dividing variable FH with estimated hours. This was original formula. But kindly understand 3 by 4 was variable cost, so we have indirectly calculated 3 by 4. So rates portion is completed over here. FH applied rate calculated is 14, which was also given in the book. And fixed FH rate is calculated 3 by 3.5. Variable FH rate is calculated 10 by 10.5. So we can now see what is our first requirement, budgeted fixed FH. All right. Again, we will be looking for the same formula which is used over here, and this line is actually present and the sign to end is behind this. All right, we can handle it. Okay, now see that for variable FH, 3 by 4 is variable. Total cost you can see is 5,60,000. Total cost is 5,60,000. Again, we can calculate variable and FH with the way we have calculated the rates. Please look at here. Total FH was mentioned here, and that was 5,60,000. So you can write over here 5,60,000, out of which 3 by 4 is variable. So you can calculate your variable FH how? Total cost was 5,60,000, and he is saying 3 by 4 is variable. So this way you can calculate your variable FH. Put 5,60,000 on calculator. Okay, multiply it by 3 and divide by 4. So here your variable FH arrived, and similarly you can calculate your fixed FH as well. We have already understood if 3 by 4 is variable, then 1 by 4 would be fixed. So 5,60,000, and it would be multiplied by 1 and divided by 4. This way you can calculate your fixed FH as well. Put it on calculator, 5,60,000, and it would be multiplied by 1 divided by 4. So here your fixed FH is also arrived, and you can see first requirement was budgeted fixed FH, and first answer is 1,40,000, and we have calculated fixed FH as 1,40,000. Now here An additional understanding I want to clarify it, how this 1 by 4 has arrived. Look, whenever there is fractional amount, that means something is written on numerator and something is written on denominator, how you will calculate the remaining amount? Please keep it in your mind, the sum of all fractional amount is always 1. How this 1 by 4 has arrived is, total would always be equal to 1 and you need to know how much left. 3 by 4 was decided by the book, so you will subtract 1 minus 3 by 4, with which you can get your amount. It has been taken as date, so we can put bracket. Perhaps it would not take it. But kindly understand it. If 3 parts out of 4 was for variable, then how many parts left? Only 1. So 1 by 4 was indirectly understood for the fixed FH. Answer we have calculated 1,40,000 and it has been suggested over here as well. Okay, now let's see what else we can do now. Going to our question. Right side of the part of question is completed lower portion. We can see what next we can do. So very first thing which we can see is actual FH. Look at here. During the year, company produced 42,500 units. So these are actual units. Actual factory overhead is 5,50,000. So we can put actual FH, which is 5,50,000. First portion completed. And now see applied FH. For that we need actual hours, and actual hours are given over here 42,500. We can put over here, and then you need to multiply with applied FH rate. Applied FH rate we have calculated 14. It was given in the question, so you can write 14 over here. Now put it on your calculator. What we have done, 42,500 and it was multiplied by 14. So this way your applied FH has been arrived. Now it's time to calculate your budget FH. We need actual hours. Actual hours 42,500 taken from the book. Variable FH rate was calculated over here 42,500. So here you can see variable FH rate was indirectly calculated 10.5. So you can put here multiplied by 10.5. Now put this calculation on calculator, 42,500 and it is multiplied by 10.5. First element has arrived. Then you have to add fixed FH, and you can see we have calculated our fixed FH like this. It was 140,000. So you can put 140,000 over here, and by adding both elements we will get our budget FH. First was 4,46,000 and then you will add 140,000 and here you have got your budget FH. So all three FH are also mentioned over here. Actual FH 5,50,000, applied 595 and 586 is your budget FH. Okay, come over here and now we will be able to calculate our all variances. Three variances were written over here. Actual FH we are needed here. Highlighted area, please focus upon that. We have actual FH which is 5,50,000 put over here. Then we need applied FH, and here highlighted area applied FH was calculated by applying the formula actual hours multiplied by applied FH rate. Amount was 5,95,000. Now it's time to calculate the variance by taking the difference of actual and applied. Your applied FH was 595 and you need to subtract your actual FH which was 550,000. So our variance has been calculated. It's time to conclude what type of variance it is by focusing upon applied. Your applied FH was 595. Actual was 550. It means applied was more. If applied is more, you can conclude over applied total variance, which is 45,000. Okay, let's see if answer is given in your book. Second requirement was under over applied, and second requirement answer is 45,000, and we have calculated 45,000, and over applied is written over here. We have calculated over applied FH. So it means our second requirement is also been calculated. Then you need to have your spending variance by putting budget FH first. Here highlighted area budget FH, and you have calculated 5,86,250 as your budget FH. Then you need to put your actual FH. It was given in your book. This is highlighted area actual FH, amount was 550, put over here. It's time to calculate variance by taking the difference of budget and actual. Your budget FH was 5,80,000, 86,000, and actual FH was 550. So here you can calculate, you had calculated your budget variance. It's time to conclude by putting your focus upon actual FH. Actual is 550, budget was 586. It means actual was less. If actually you are spending less, it would be favorable budget variance you have calculated. Okay, let's see what was this requirement. Okay, third requirement was spending variance, and third requirement answer is 36,250, and here is your 36,250. It is favorable, and we have also mentioned favorable. So good to go. We are now going to calculate our volume variance. For volume variance, what do you need at first stage is budget FH. So here you have calculated your budget FH, highlighted area, please focus, and this is your budget FH finally 5,86,250, put over here. And next you need is applied FH. Here you can see the highlighted area, factory overhead applied FH was calculated over here. Amount was 595,000, put over here. Both FH are written. It's time to calculate their variance by taking the difference of budget and applied. So your applied FH was 595 and your budget was 586. Calculate the difference, which is 8750. It's time to conclude by focusing upon budget FH. So your budget FH was 586, applied was 595. So budget is less. So it's a good news. So you will mark it as favorable volume variance. Let's see what is given in the book as your answer. We have seen our fourth requirement, idle capacity variance, fourth 8750, and we have calculated 8750. Look at here, and here it is mentioned favorable, and we have also concluded as favorable. It means all answers are calculated, and you can see over here very first requirement was to calculate budgeted fixed overhead. So at the end of question, this was 140,000 fixed FH, and you can see the answer of first requirement 150,000. Reviewing is very important. Sometimes a tiny factor could have been missed, so it's important to review. Under over applied FH, then you have seen here was your calculation of under over applied 45,000. And you can see your answer second is 45,000, and our answer is also 45,000. Then you were calculating spending variance. This is your spending variance, and the answer was 36250. So we have seen our answer as 36250, satisfied. Then finally idle capacity variance was the fourth amount. and its answer we have calculated 875, and here 875 favorable is present. So all answers are reviewed as well. So our question 10.25 has been completed. I'm very hopeful that you have gained some sort of understanding regarding question number 10.25. All question was based upon this format and we have filled accordingly, except one different way of calculating FH rates. Normally we were supposed to put formulas, but all the rates were given in the question, so uh, we had calculated these rates without putting the formula. This is the twist of this question. I'm just requesting you to please focus upon it. Remaining everything was usual, remaining everything was solved in a traditional way. So time for 25 is completed, solution is completed. I'm very hopeful that each and every element was followed accordingly, but even then, if you have any query, if you have any question, if you have any problem, you are very open to ask your questions and queries through messages, text, or you can directly meet. So 10.25 is completed. Hopefully we will be meeting again for the solution of any other question in future, inshallah. Thank you very much for your time. It's time to say goodbye. Allah Hafiz.